Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Talk Williams, hosting Creative Hip Hop 50th, and it is Saturday night, depending on where you at. I'm in Chicago. It's like 11:30 at night. I just want to check my sound and make sure I'm not talking to myself, and I'm muted out. Y'all know this is the Poor Man's Podcast, so there's no way around it. But I think I'm getting some sound. Anyway, what's up, guys? The camera is on me. It's your boy Talk Williams, hosting Creative Hip Hop 50th, and I was at a dilemma tonight. Yeah, I wanted to go live. I wanted to touch on some stuff, more specifically about technology, to be perfectly honest with you. Because today I had the fortunate meeting with a couple gentlemen, my man Tori and his big homie, who's I don't even know if he wants me to say his name, but he's a producer, director, and he has a movie coming out. And it's dope. It is really dope. And I don't get to meet with this guy too much, but when my man Tori pops up, he brings him along, and we're able to sit and chop it up. And they're doing their thing, but my small contribution to the conversation was about Chat GPT. That's right. So on the technology tip, Google has an application out called Chat GPT. And to me, it's a personal learning assistant where you can galvanize or gather up some sources and use Gemini 2.5, which is Google's chat or bot, to make things happen. And then there's a studio full of features and functionality where you can do anything from mind mapping, FAQs, brief documents, study guides, and the big one that's really like a wow, that's dope, audio overviews. But I'm going to stop that thought right there and go back to this title, the title of this live, The Cost of Freedom of Speech. Should I just said the cost of free speech? Yeah, that sounds better, right? Maybe I'll go on here and edit. That's the cool thing about YouTube, especially when you're doing a poor man's podcast like I do. You can go right in and edit, and I can edit this where it says the cost of free speech, or maybe I'll change it to freedom of speech. The cost of freedom of speech. That don't even sound right. So let's say the cost of free speech, or let me change it to freedom of speech. The cost. That sounds better. That sounds more like, that sounds like a real something serious, right? It sounds like, hey, this guy's about to say something really important here. It's kind of important. It's just a thought. But I'm going to show you where I'm at. I'm going to express my quagmire, my snafu. I'm going to explain to you guys what's going on. No, I'm not trying to create clickbait. It's not. You see above me, We the People, which is an image I just took off of Google, and it shows maybe the preamble to the United States Constitution, and it opens up with the We the People, whatever, Article 1, whatever the articles are, right? And then on that image, you see Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was just assassinated by a lone shooter, a lone assassin, a lone gunman, and some image of that guy, the current suspect that has been arrested. And I think officially he will be charged this Tuesday, probably September the 16th or something like that, is this gentleman, Tyler Perry. Not Tyler Perry, I apologize. Tyler Robinson. But underneath me, down here, down below, you see an image of Elon Musk. And the reason for that, guys, I'm going to give you my explanation. The reason for that, this confusion, right, is because I wanted to talk about tech, but I'm not able to right now because I would be just upfront with you, forthcoming. All day long, ever since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I've been in and out of discussions, conversations about freedom of speech, what people stand for, is speech free, and the cost of it. That seems to come up. And so a discussion I had earlier this evening on the south side of Chicago with a couple gentlemen was, how free is speech, or what is the true cost? And that's why I'm like, okay, I want to talk about Elon Musk And Elon Musk just let go, they say, some reports say, 500 of his workers that were actually doing some type of training, generalized training on the annotations of AI. So they were kind of training the AI, whatever like that. And it says that, he let them go. Now, he may have let them go simply because they've done enough training, their job is done, so they can move on, and we don't need you no more, because that's what it is. They are the epitome of how AI is going to replace certain people with certain roles, different things like that. But it's all across the big tech layoffs in the last couple of days, actually the last 24 hours. But my mind, I'm telling you what my state of mind is. My state of mind is feeding the spirit of freedom of speech. What happened to Charlie Kirk? While so many people are saying on the one hand, he deserved it, and so many people are saying on the other hand, he's a martyr, he's a great guy, whatever. Of course, we have the president and we have all of these politicians. They're treating him like he's nobility. They're treating him as if he done something really great. I don't know what he did, other than him being a big influencer. I don't know. I've talked to guys in the last couple days, and all of a sudden, everybody's either a Charlie Kirk expert, everybody wants to take the position, and he's right, and he's great, and everybody's perfect, and everybody's a scientist, and everybody is a genius right after they die. But here's my thing. It's really not about Charlie Kirk. It's really not about Tyler Robinson, who was the suspect arrested for assassinating them. It's really not about that when it comes to free speech. My question to you guys is speech free? Now, I'm putting it in the context of the United States, but I know in my chats it's people from all over the world, and I appreciate that up to the utmost. And I mean up to the utmost. But my question is there two things going on here? Is there something called free speech, which is true, while at the same time there's a cost to speak freely? That's kind of what I'm getting at, because that's where the dilemma is, I think, for most people. They try to bottle the two as if free speech encapsulates no penalty, no cost, no accountability. But for me, there's always a cost to free speech. You can say what you want, where you want, how you want, but there's a price to be paid. My other question is, did Charlie Kirk pay the ultimate price because of his free speech? Him exercising his will, him exercising his position on certain things, whether it be abortion, whether it be other things about the family, whether it be black on black crime, whether it be it being necessary for people to die, whether it be school shootings, all of the things that many of us did not agree, some of us detested, or at least had a distasteful, we found very distasteful and disconnected and obnoxious by Charlie Kirk. Was that free speech? Was he exercising free speech? And if so, did he pay the ultimate price for it? Or was Charlie Kirk exercising free speech and we just had an outlier? We had a glitch in the system. We had one of the things in the matrix just not behaving the way it should have, and that's what led to Charlie Kirk being assassinated, because without a doubt, he was definitely assassinated. That's what I want to hear from y'all. Now, Real Talk and Raw Truth 86 says, I love that handle. Damn, I love that handle. That's dope in and of itself. Real Talk and Raw Truth 86 says, Charlie Kirk did pay the ultimate price for free speech. Let me bring it back up. But it is a price he should not have to pay, because all he was doing was standing on morals and facts and truth. Now, I'm with you, Real Talk and Raw Truth 86. I will say this, though. if you mean, and I don't mean to change your meaning because you know what you mean, so no insult, no challenge for me. But for me, everybody's morals and facts and truth, as you say, are different. I'm not going to say that mine's is his and his is mine's, because there was a few things that he said that I really didn't. I just don't agree with, and I could have debated him. Charlie Kirk was only 31. I could have debated him because some of the stuff he talked about, I lived through, I touched, I smelled, I participated in. So when Charlie Kirk was debating students, and a lot of them was 18, 21, or under 25 years old, some of them wasn't even 20, he had the upper hand. Why? Because he has almost, not a generation, but 10 years or so. He's been exposed. So he had the advantage debating students. I still didn't see anything wrong with him debating students. And the reason why I didn't see anything wrong with Charlie Kirk debating students, because I thought it would be a learning moment, a teaching moment, not only for the students that he was debating, but also for himself. Okay, that doesn't mean that I agreed with him. It just means that if I was debating Charlie Kirk, I would have the advantage because he wasn't even born on some of the things that he couldn't even speak to other than chapter 3, page 35, written by author so-and-so, while I was sitting there next to the author, helping him write that page, helping him write that chapter. But again, when those students were standing there posing their questions, debating with Charlie Kirk, I felt like that was a learning moment, meaning this: if the student came thinking they knew more than him and they weren't able to articulate, or they found themselves flustered, that experience teaches us, hey, I need to tighten my game up. Maybe I need to do more research or whatever like that. My point is, did Charlie Kirk pay the ultimate price for what we consider freedom of speech? Somebody even told me today, freedom of speech ain't a right. You know, freedom of speech is just some social construct. People be killing me, and I'm not going to say who or the type of people that generally run and say that, but that's their go-to. Social construct, social construct, social construct, social construct, social constructs. If you live in the United States, in case you didn't know, and you can research it and study, in case you don't believe me, freedom of speech is part of our Constitution. It actually is. You say, well, Talk, how you know that? You don't even know what you're talking about. And you know what? For the sake of argument and the sake of the conversation, I'm going to agree with you. But guess what? There is some parity. Parity, parity, meaning there is some equal playing field here. There is some democratization of information called Open AI, Chat GPT, Gemini, Google Gemini, Grok, XAI. Just look it up. I just put in, is freedom of speech a constitutional right in the United States? Now, if there's a lie being told, I'm not telling it. Grok AI or XAI of Elon Musk is telling it. Google's Gemini 2.5 is telling it. And OpenAI's ChatGPT 5 is telling it. Because here's the response. Yes, in the United States, freedom of speech is a constitutional right guaranteed by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. The text states, the text states, in quotes, Congress shall not make no law abridging the freedom of speech or the press. Let me explain a little something about that. That term abridging. ABRIDGING. Remember the A in front of words? I have to remind people of that sometimes. There's an A that you find in front of words. Atypical, aback, asymmetric. You know the A's. Anomalies, the A's. It means not. That's what it means. So, in the Constitution of the United States, for all these people that say freedom of speech is not written in, it says Congress shall not make no law abridging the freedom of speech or the press, meaning not bridging, meaning leave it alone. Protection from government restrictions, and it goes on and on and on and on. What I'm saying to you guys is all of the fuss, or some of the fuss, is that Charlie Kirk should have been able to hold whatever position he did and not get executed. Is that the question? Well, here's somebody that really paid the ultimate price for their belief, for their thoughts. At least that's how we see it, okay? That's definitely how we see it. That's how it happened. What about this right here? Check this out.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I don't think any of us can be satisfied in the United States until that war is brought to an honorable end and American soldiers are brought back here to the United States of America.
One day.
So yeah, I'll jump back. I'll jump back. Yeah, I'll jump back. A lot of you guys have been making statements or comments. Let me make sure. Let me see. I apologize. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry for the reverb. I apologize for that. Let me get this right. I hope this sound is better. Yeah, I apologize for that. Let me move this back. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I apologize, guys. A lot of you guys have been making statements, you've been making comments, and I can appreciate that, okay? I do. I really do. But the reason why I jumped up real quick because I can't even keep up with them. But let me say this: Eye of the beholder. The eye of the beholder says, anyone know the names of the kids that were just shot last week? Yes. Yeah, didn't think so. You know what's crazy about that? You know what's really not crazy in the sense of the word crazy, but crazy in the sense metaphorically crazy about that? I think that shooting of the kids at the school happened 1 hour or so or 2 hours right after the shooting of Charlie Kirk. And it didn't even get any coverage. It was like, it was nothing. It was nothing. And at that moment, and this is what we're talking about, freedom of speech. At that very moment, the CNNs of the world, the ABCs of the world, all of the large networks, all of the ones with the budgets and resources, and all of the ones that could just allocate and do this, and all of the law enforcement and everybody else, it didn't even receive any coverage. It came up as a blip. It was pushed up on my YouTube thing like really quick. No, none of them said, let's leave here and go to the school. Like it was, even if they did it as if we just want to do it so technically we can say that we did it. In an instance, in one quick instance, and that was the first time I've ever seen it, that I've witnessed it, they chose one man getting shot and the shooter was nowhere around. The campus was locked down, or wherever they had that speech, Charlie Kirk, it was locked down, and there was no threat. They kept saying there's no more threat. They was asking police officers and law enforcement. They said, look, that was a one and done. We don't feel like it's a threat right now, this, that, and that. But they wouldn't go and shift and give all of the attention to where the kids were. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. Now you ask yourself, why wouldn't they do that? Because they chose. See, that's the thing about this freedom of speech. I think sometimes we get freedom of speech mixed up with good morality, the correct choice, what's best, how it should be, what's legal, what's not. Because I talk to people and you can hear it. They'll be, what, them ain't morals, them not principles, them not truths. Freedom of speech to me has nothing to do with morals, principles, and truths. Because if it did, who's going to police what's right for who and when? If we all living and we all engaging in this thing called life, even Charlie Kirk, listen to me, I'll say it again. I am not a Charlie Kirk apologist, not at all. But here's what I know, whether you're a 31-year-old Charlie Kirk or a 21-year-old so-and-so or 35-year-old so-and-so or 25-year-old so-and-so. You're going to say things and you're going to take positions on things and you're going to defend them. But life offers you opportunities to grow. Meaning you start softening your position because of wisdom, or life teaches you that. You start educating yourself, becoming more aware. You start having other people in your circle and they're dropping nuggets of wisdom on you, or the nuggets of wisdom that was dropped on you when you were in your teens and as a younger man or a younger woman, they started to grow. They start to mature. Wisdom is crazy because wisdom isn't instantaneous. Wisdom grows in some of us as slow as a bamboo plant. And then it hits and we're off running. Why do I pick on the bamboo plant? Because the bamboo shoot, the plant, bamboo, that the panda bears eat, it's one of the plants that takes the longest time to come from underneath the ground and start growing. But once it does, it's almost like somebody's stretching it, pulling it like it's a damn rubber band, because now you can't even control how fast it grows. That's how life is for people. That's why you can't take Charlie Kirk's life, because he's He's on that just keep living side. Look, think about this. I'm from the projects, urban America, right? I remember growing up when we was getting our girlfriends, we were becoming young men, and we was starting to date women that, it was okay to have either kids by or they might have had kids. I remember guys, my homeboys saying, I never date a woman with a kid. I'll never date a woman with the kid. When I see their ass later on, 10 years later, they done married a woman that got 2 kids, and neither one of them is biologically theirs. And they could represent why they did that, and they can stand on it. Because you gotta allow people to be what they are if they're not causing immediate danger to society or other people. I've never heard somebody say Charlie Kirk was part of some Klan or some extreme racist group or radical group running around harming people. I've never heard stuff like that. I've never heard somebody say Charlie Kirk was in that car when they dragged that black guy, or they beat the Jew up, or they cradled the so-and-so. Never heard that. Never heard that. All I was hearing and I was seeing and I was witnessing it, whatever was, I even watched the relationship and dynamics between Charlie Kirk and President Trump in his first run. And he kind of separated himself from Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk was saying some hold up, you messing my votes up, my man. I'm stand over there for a minute, which is all good. But here's what I'm saying. You gonna silence the man? You gonna take his life? That's it. But here's what I like. Here's what I enjoy. Here's what I was explaining to somebody. I was explaining to somebody is what's wonderful about it is that bell curve. I know I talk to people, trust me, I do. They have a hard concept understanding bell curve. Okay, they just do. And people that don't understand something, the first thing they want to do is attack it because they don't understand it. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, bell curve. And it's like, look, just sit your ass down. The great thing is, if you look at bell curve, the majority of America, whether they agreed with Charlie Kirk or not, they wasn't going to shoot him. They wasn't going to hunt him down. They wasn't looking to do anything physically to him. That's the wonderful thing. But see, it's these extreme outliers that's on the left side of the bell curve or the right side of the bell curve at that 0.01% area. And man, it's so unfortunate that it had that person. It exposed that person. And then that person did it. And that's the sad part about it. The good part about it is 99% of America, whether you love Charlie, hated him, disagreed with what he said or whatever, we wasn't going to lay a finger on him. And I'll say this. Let me just say this because here's one thing I've learned in America. Okay, here's one thing I learned. One thing I learned in America is this. People will get triggered by certain things. It will expose that person because to them it's signaling or they're having a conversation or it means something different to them. The reality of it is, though, 99.9% of this country just wouldn't do that. It just wouldn't do that. I get it. I've seen the comments. Black people saying this, that, and that. White people saying this, that, and that. Brown people saying this, that, and that. We live in a country called the United States. And here's a reality for the most part. For the most part, a black man not going to pick up a gun and assassinate a white man because he got a different opinion. You think that's my thought? Nah. Look at the empirical evidence. Look at the history. Black people can talk all and pop all. I'm black. I can talk all and pop all that shit I want to. Ain't nothing in me, nobody I know. And it's such a small dust of somebody that black that might even possibly think about it was going to grab a gun and go execute some white dude because of his thoughts and positions. Sure, we barking and biting, and somebody might be celebrating, and all that rhetorical, metaphorical, allegorical, I'm animist, and I'm going to get him, sure you're going to get him and tear him up. You ain't going to pick shit up and do nothing to him. You ain't going to throw a rock at him. When you see him, you ain't going to throw a piece of fucking trash at him. And I'm glad it's like that. I'm not upset. I'm glad it's like that. Because that's not black people's MO. Black people they don't think like that. We're not doing that. That's not in us. Now, you white folks, y'all the motherfuckers get triggered. See, that's what I tell people. That's why I ain't got but a couple black friends. I tell them quick. See, you talk all that racial shit you want. A white man to kill another white man over what he think. It's unfortunate. I didn't want that to happen to Charlie. I don't even like Charlie, but ain't no way I support his execution. For what? 31, just getting out his 20s? You're not going to give the man a chance to change his fucking mind or his position? What? If somebody held me accountable for what I thought and said in my 20s, I'm done. I'm just done. I remember a conversation I had with my youngest daughter one time. We sitting there talking. She's 20. No, she was 19. She's running all this shit down with me because she done figured the world out. She know more than me. She's telling me how this world go. And I sat there and looked at her. And she says, Daddy, why are you looking at me like that? And you know what I said to her? I said, because I used to be retarded just like you. Yeah. Your father was a retard. Yeah, he was. And guess what? I was just like you. I wasn't even on medication. I said, but here's the cool part about that period of retardation I was on and the period of retardation that you on right now without medication. It'll wane itself. It'll take care of itself. You just got to survive through it. And the amazing part is, fortunately for you, you don't even know you retarded right now. I'm probably going to be the only one to tell you for the next 3-4 years. So you good. I still love you. That's all. So all I'm saying to you guys, or what I was trying to get back to, this thing called freedom of speech. You work somewhere, right? You work somewhere. You know that somebody next to you is incompetent. If you say, look, man, you incompetent, you're not lying. You're telling the truth. If you go to ChatGPT and look up incompetent, it describes them. Can you tell it to them? Absolutely you can. That's your freedom of speech. Nobody can stop you from saying it. No mouth taped allowed. But then you wind up in HR and you wind up losing your job, or you wind up having to take a sensitivity course and you wind up having to do that and do this. So there's a cost to the freedom of speech. It's a cost right here on YouTube. Y'all hear guys say, I got my own channel. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I'm my own boss. Sure, you your own boss. Until YouTube tell you. You can't be popping that shit, own boss. Why? Because you can say it, but it's a cost. When y'all in the chat calling me monkeys and calling other people in the chat all kind of names, saying free Palestine and free Israel and, all of this stuff. I don't mind free Palestine. I don't mind free Israel. You know why I don't mind? I'll tell you why I don't mind. I'm so ignorant, I don't know to mind free Palestine. I'm so ignorant, I don't know to mind free Israel. But when I hire people from the channel, it's not because they saying free Israel or free Palestine. It's because they put this shit in there 20, 30 times every other comment. And I'm like, okay, that's enough, man. It's enough. I don't even mind when people call me names. They be like, man, you talk like you retarded. When they be telling me I talk like retarded, I'll probably give them 2, 3, you talk like you retarded. And then I say, I'm not just going to let you put 10 you talk like retarded. Why you can't switch it up? Why you can't call me something else? I like the freedom of speech. I want it to be low cost for you. For Charlie Kirk, it was the ultimate price. Here's my question, though. Was Tyler Robinson, the so-called shooter, was that freedom of speech for him? Did he express his disdain, his animus, his hatred, his unwillingness to live or to hear that voice anymore? Who would consider that freedom of speech? Of course, it's assassination. Of course, it's a murder. Of course, it's all of that. But is that a form of freedom of speech? And is he paying the ultimate price for it? I would say no. I'm going to say no. Tyler Robinson is not paying the ultimate price for what he did. But that's my position. I don't think he is. The reason why I don't think he is because a lot of times we find ourselves in positions, right? We just willing to stand on. Look, hold up. Let me put this. I'm going to put this as an example. Here, I'm going to put this as an example, this comment, because it's short. So Arizona Ranger, look at the comment Arizona Ranger put. Arizona Ranger says Charlie Kirk was dirt dumb. That's what Arizona Ranger says. And guess who should be able to say that? Arizona Ranger. Do I agree with it? No. Should he be able to say that? Of course he is. What is his cost of his freedom of speech on my live for saying that? None. You know why? Because unless Arizona Ranger starts posting that 10 times back to back like it's a fucking lottery machine or like a slot machine, I ain't got an issue with it. He could call me dumb. Why shouldn't he be able to call me dumb? I'll call me dumb. His cost and his freedom of speech in this little microcosmic world right here of you, I, the chat, my YouTube live is no cost. There you go. Now, if somebody come in there and say Charlie Kirk is a genius, I'm posting that shit. And you can put several Charlie Kirks is a genius. Look what Thomas says. Look, Thomas says this. Tomas. Is it Tomas or Tom? I want to apologize to Tomas. I don't know if it's Tomas or Thomas. I apologize for the name. It says, you are dumb, dude. Look, hold up. You are dumb, dude. Turn your camera off, please. Now, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that because this is what I call low-hanging fruit. Why is it low-hanging fruit? He's on my live watching me, calling me dumb. Now, if you on my live watching me, calling me dumb, and you willing to use your fingers and express your thoughts, that's fine. Now, somebody with any type of mind would say, why is he on your live? Like, what is he doing? I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a behaviorist. I don't know why people can't take people and stay on their lives. I don't have a clue. Think about it. I don't even have a clue. If I was on somebody, well, the freedom of speech part, I get it. Look, Hector Colon. See these Spanish names? Let me tell y'all about these daggone Spanish names. Hector, Colon, and all that. I gotta apologize. The reason why I gotta apologize because I know I'm not pronouncing it right, and sometimes it's an insult. It's like, all right, this motherfucker can't speak, probably can't read the shit. So I apologize, Hector, I do. But he says Tomas is projecting. Maybe so. All right. So all I'm saying is, in our little world, if we're not violating YouTube's agreement or policies or whatever, where I gotta pay the price or y'all gotta pay the price, I gotta pay it first because it's my live, then I get to be the governor of the price y'all pay for the freedom of speech. And I'm going to make it as low as possible. Why? Because it's just engagement. It's just engagement. I should be able to sound dumb and crazy. Charlie Kirk, let me say this, though, about Charlie Kirk. Let me say this. See, there's different ways to look at it. I watched some of his debates. One, the debates are not really fair. Why the debates are not really fair? Charlie Kirk's 31 years old. He's been exposed to different levels of people in different circles. He's a very popular guy. He knows about marketing. He knows about emotions, dealing with people. When he's up against these college kids or very young adults, he can pretty much tear them up. But I still like it because it's a teaching moment for them. See, his position ain't got anything to do with them not being able to articulate, express, or come back at him. That's on them, and that's where the learning comes. It's not enjoyable that day, but next time, get your stuff together. That's how it should go. I think that's pretty good. Now, other people might say, hey, I'm 30, I'm 40. When these 18 to 21-year-olds come up, I'm just going to bless them with knowledge. Well, inadvertently, you bless them with knowledge because when we associate an emotion, frustration, being flustered, being at our wits' end, conscious people or progressive thinking people, especially people with self-accountability and not afraid to look in the mirror, they say, man, I need to read more. I need to get on top of this. I need to go beyond the rhetoric because that's what a lot of adults do. I deal with them all the time. All the time. All they got is rhetoric. Seven quick words or some shit that you can just tear the fuck through if you read anything because that's all they got. And they hang on to that. And you can just blow right through them and just piss them the fuck off. So, I think it's healthy for the kids. It is. If you don't like Charlie Kirk's position, you should be able to argue it. You should be able to debate it. And Charlie should be able to go home to his wife and his 2 kids and them 7.5 million followers and them 7.8 million subscribers and them 5.1 million friends and continue on with Turning Point. And you should be able to leave, not agree, but have what's called in the Communist Manifesto a dialectical materialism, where when we come to the table with opposing ideas, both of us leave a little more enriched so that when we have that discussion again with each other or somebody else with opposition, we have a little more to qualify or fortify our position. That's how it should be. There's nothing anybody can say to me. There's nothing you can show me. There's not a speech. There's not anything you can show me that I haven't seen that equates to this man's life being silenced, taken away from him. I ain't going. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up from there, guys. I know I was on here too long running my mouth. I do want to say thank you. And if y'all want to, and you can lie. You don't even have to tell the truth. Hold up. Josh Binkley. Hold up. Josh Binkley and family. Hold up, Josh. I want to see this. So Josh Binkley and family, they put in the chat, hold up. A high school education and a work ethic will take you places. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. It will. So, and what? Look, here's another one. It says, and how? Because y'all killed one another. Huh? I don't even understand that. Andrew Carr, let me get yours up there. Hold up, Andrew. Andrew Carr, I like the car when it's got 2 R's on it, right? Andrew Carr says, he genuinely didn't understand our generation's wants Hold up, I apologize. It got small on me. Andrew Carr says he genuinely didn't understand our generations once as the next generation that will become the leaders of tomorrow. He put down others for making genuinely intelligent comments just to be emotional. And guess what, Andrew? I seen that, and I agree with you. He did. He absolutely did. Without question. I've seen it. I've told people when they say, man, he be done. I say, look, first of all, I could go in on somebody that's damn near a generation younger than me or 10 years younger than me. I could pontificate all day because the point they trying to make, I've lived. See, it's like me talking to somebody. It's like somebody talking to somebody about 911. And they're just doing it from an academic. They're looking up Chat GPT. That's why I love it. I be telling people you sound bottish. They say, what do you mean you sound bottish? It sounds like you just looked that shit up in one of these bots. And when you read it, you don't even sound fluent, which lets me know you have no insight. You have no inference at all. You're just regurgitating something you're reading. So when somebody does that, it's right there. Your antenna tell you they don't know what they're talking about. Somebody was telling me about 911, how crazy it was in the D.C. area. This guy was 27. He's telling me he didn't know I was at Andrews Air Force Base when 911 hit. He didn't know my friend was at the Pentagon working. He didn't know that. Motherfucker, I could smell the fire. But he's telling me what he read in the book. He's telling me what he looked up on OpenAI or something like that, which is cool. But I'm just saying. So it's an easy target. It's what I call low-hanging fruit when Charlie Kirk sits there and debates, to me, fucking kids. I still liked it, though. The reason why I still liked it is because of this. He's a married man. He got 2 kids. He wasn't trying to fuck him. He wasn't trying to sell him into slave sexual things. And that frustration is a learning experience for those young kids. Inadvertently, whether they liked it or not. So I had no issue with it, but I do agree with Andrew Carr. It's just, you make sense saying it. All right, so we got, all right. Don't mind me. Hold up. Don't mind me. See, them handles catch my attention. I know that's a bias, but I can't read that well. So when I see a slick-ass handle, it just catch my attention. So like that don't mind me, it just stands out. Let me see what don't mind me said. So don't mind me says, Charlie stuck out his neck for free speech. Give him some love. I don't even know how to take that. I was getting ready to say that's deep. That's true. But then when I'm looking at it from a comedic, standpoint, I'm like, hold up. He said Charlie stuck out his neck. All right. All right. The devil is in the details. I don't know, man. But anyway, but he did tell us don't mind me, so we can go with that. Jeff, you awesome. Damn. See, these handles make you look at this shit. Jeff, you awesome. How we not going to read this comment? Jeff, you awesome says, free speech is a right. That I agreed. It's in the first Constitution. I just read it earlier, Jeff, if you wasn't on here. It's in the Constitution all day long. It's in the United States. Free speech is a right. Hold on. Let me open up your thing. It's something we all take for granted. Absolutely. When the last time y'all seen somebody celebrating oxygen? And that shit keep us alive. So yeah, we take it for granted. However, other countries don't have this. We should look at it as a power. Words have power, no doubt. With power comes great responsibility. Absolutely. And if Jeff, you awesome said, talk, I'm going to give you one word you could add to that. I would say with power comes great responsibility and repercussions or cost. But no, I agree. Everything Jeff said, I got to agree with that shit. How I'm not. That's just where I'm at with it. I do want to look at what Metal Boy. See this Abdul? Look at this Abdul, the Abdul person. Abdul players. He want us to see the 1 million flags, the free Palestine. He not happy with just putting it in once or twice. So now I got to hide it. Why you just can't say it once or twice? Will the Krill, he got to come with another language. By default, I can barely read English. You know damn well I can't read no Arabic or whatever that shit is in, so I got to hide you from the channel. See, these are the costs. These are the costs. Even at this level, it's a cost, right? These are the costs. Okay. All right, X139T. All right, let's go with X139T. So X139T says, freedom of speech has to do with citizens and legal persecution, not person to person. Oh, okay. All right, but all right, so I'm gonna push back at you. No, I'm not pushing back at you. One, I agree, but I will ask for clarity, X139T. In the Constitution, at some point, you deal with an individual. So if you violate the individual's right to freedom of speech, it will be person to person because it can be a person that's doing that against a person or not. I'm just saying. I'm just posing that as an ideal question. But anyway, Chase the Gamer guy, I like what he says. Hold up. Chase the Gamer guy says, great power with great responsibility. You have a huge platform. You have a responsibility to be intellectually honest to your audience. I am. I'm being as honest as my IQ would allow. Trust me. Even if I'm saying something that's erroneous, I can stand and qualify the erroneity of it because that's either my understanding, that's either where I'm at with a lack of research or studying. But if you think for 5 minutes that I'm going to go and do some degree of scholarship on every little thing that happens in this live, you on the wrong live. All right. Laney Duncan. I'm thinking this, Laney. Laney Duncan says, those young people didn't have to be there. They could have walked away. They came there because they wanted to be there. Charlie gave them a chance to have a second of their view. Charlie gave them a chance to have a second of their view. I'm not sure, Laney Duncan, about the last line. I'm not that proficient in English, I guess, or understanding what I read. But I will say this. 80% of that text that I put pinned up there, I agree with. 80% of that shit, I agree with. And here's the thing, that's what I was saying, or that's what I was alluding to earlier. A lot of those debates and forums and, you know, Charlie Kirk and these young college kids or students or young adults, that was opportunities. Some of them saw them as opportunity. Like, a lot of them, let me say this. Let's understand this, right? A lot of times, we'll hold one position. 5 years later, I'm on the other side of the table, and you're on this side. This is just life. Many great scientists were theologists, and others went from theology to science, anthropology, chemistry, and all of that stuff. Life is a journey. That's why a lot of us, depending on when you came up, the teachings of your parents, the teachings of your neighborhood, you can't stand white people, and white people don't like black people, and so forth. You grow, life teaches you something different. He ain't stealing all the shit in my bedroom. He not trying to fuck my wife. He's not getting drunk calling me nigger. and it's been 17 years or 12 years of that. I'm older. Is a guy at the job is great. Is a woman at the fucking pool hall is wonderful. And now you loving people, period. That's life. That's why you don't want to stomp somebody's life out if they're not taking a life. That's all I'm saying. You don't take a person's life when they're not even old enough to realize you about to change your mind. That's all. Shit. Look what Blue Kachina said. Blue Kachina. Check it out. I know damn well I'm not pronouncing that name right. But anyway, I'll put it up there. Blue Kachina said, I like black peoples until I didn't. That's what I'm saying. Blue Kachina, and I don't know this person, Blue Kachina was crazy about black people. Guess what? Until Blue Kachina wasn't. That's all. The fuck? Kill this man. For what? All right. All right. Oh, hold up. Matt Rowe. This is true. Matt Rowe making a point. Now Matt Rowe just wiped the smile off my face. He did, or she, or whatever you is. You did wipe the smile off my face because Matt Rowe. Is it Matt Rowe? Matt Rowe said this. Look at this. But his views were not in line with his professed faith. Let me say this. I watched some video of Charlie Kirk, right? I did. This is Charlie Kirk talking. And when some of the students were challenging that, they were saying, hey, there seems to be a dichotomy or some, what's going on here? You say you're a Christian, you say you this, you say this. Charlie Kirk said, yeah, but when I'm defending my position, I'm doing it from a political stance. I'm doing it from a social stance, not from my religion. And then I watched one, and somebody else was challenging them. They were saying what Matt Rowe was saying. Your positions aren't in line with your professed faith, Christianity, right? And I heard him say on this one, he said, well, at the core they are, but I'm just not using my faith to defend my position. So here's what I'm saying to you guys. This is how life is, right? I'm a Christian, and here's what I believe. Charlie Kirk knew that his positions on many things was not in line with his Christian or professed faith. He started publicly saying there's a separation of two. See, people looking for an apology and a notarize and all that bullshit. Stop that. People evolve. It shows up if you listen and watch what happens. He started speaking as if there was a separation. He started saying, because he's growing, he's not 21-year-old Charlie Kirk. When him and Candace Owens came into the game 12 years ago. He's not that person. He's not the girl that was press secretary for Trump during his first one. What is her name? Kaylee McKay, whatever her name. He's not that new millennial with her 11 years ago. See? So now, is he still a person you don't agree with a lot? He said, yeah, but even he's saying. So guess what he might have been on the road to saying 2 years from now? Hey, I realigned, I've repositioned, as T.D. Jakes say, he has a nice book out. I've repositioned myself. I've learned some things. I've understood some things because he did it. He said the church is over here and the state is over here, and I will not defend my positions with the church. I thought that was a level of maturity. I thought that showed growth. I thought that showed him in journey in life. I think he was a couple more years of more studying, more faith, being committed, and becoming more aware of his self-empowerment instead of the glorified, deitized observation of other men. That's why you wasn't supposed to take his life. That's why that's sad. That moment to me was just sad. So yeah, Matt Rowe. I said all that behind your comment, Matt. Yeah. All right. All right. Oh, look. So look, here go Mark. Here go Mark. Check out Mark. This we on freedom of speech night. This is a freedom of speech night. Mark says, "Sir, you are mistakenly and prayerfully. Am I saying prayerfully? One day you will know the truth." Oh no, I'm reading it wrong. Mark, you said it right. I'm reading it wrong. Sir, comma, which means I should pause. You are mistaken. See, what's throwing me off is the Cheerio box symbol in between mistaken and prayerfully. But anyway, I guess I'm supposed to start that. Prayerfully, one day you will know the truth. I'm going to say this to you, Mark. Let me say this to Mark, whoever this guy is. I accept that because you presented it so humbly. I know in there is some truth, so I accept it. I accept what you said. Let me see. Trevor, we got a goddamn Trevor up in here. Trevor, let's see what Trevor says. Hold on. So here go Trevor. Trevor Alphin. Trevor Alphin says, I apologize for the last name part. Trevor Alphin says, it's funny how many people say shit that he's supposed to say and they misquote him to the extent it means something different. And the next person takes that and that's true. I have to admit, if I says, I'm paraphrasing, first of all, anything I said about Charlie Kirk, I'm paraphrasing. Meaning, I'm just saying the shit as I remembered it. But Trevor makes a good point there because there is value or devalue in doing that practice. It is. Because what happens is the next person mentioned it and they say, yeah, I just saw it on a live. The crazy old man said, Charlie Kirk said this. And then you have the people that won't do the research, right? They won't confirm. And they just run with it. So, Trevor right. He absolutely right. I did it. I'm probably going to do it again before the night out. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow on another live. But Trevor is absolutely right. It's not a good fucking practice, man. Yeah, that's not good shit. Let me see. All right, here go Daryl Young. Daryl Young on some trigger shit, man. But let's see what's happening. I'm just poking at you. Hold up, Daryl. Hold up. Let's see. Daryl Young says, well, you do accept that some people will die so that we all have the right to drive a car. That doesn't mean you want people to die, but that incidents happen regardless. Man, Daryl, you done sophisticated my ass out of understanding with that fucking statement. Come back with another one if you still there, Daryl. Because I can't even comment to that shit. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying you sophisticated my brain from a fucking response to that. All right, Marcus Flack. So a moment right here. Marcus Flack says, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Jesus Christ is our King and Savior. I feel you. Laney Duck. I apologize, Laney. If I was bringing up female like that matters, my bad. Laney Duckin says, and yes, I am female, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't think it mattered. I was just saying in case I didn't know where the name. If that was me, it's because I didn't know where the name was at. Yeah, but when you advocate for no speed limits, y'all talking to each other. That's Matt Rowe in hold up. That's Matt Rowe and who else? Matt Rowe, who brought up the accidents, the driving and stuff. That's Matt Rowe and hold up, we got Chuck Norris. Hold the hell up. Y'all think I ain't gonna pin what Chuck say? You gotta be kidding me, man. Let's see what Chuck Norris say. So Chuck Norris says, from some white dude way up north, I love you, my black brother. I love all humans. Christ is king. Love you all. RIP. I agree with that shit 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. First of all, the whole Chuck Norris thing, I had to read it. But my man, Chuck Norris, telling the fucking truth. Shout out to you. Yeah. Yeah, so Laney Duncan, you not talking to me, right? Did I say something that's Oh, here go Daryl. Here go Daryl back. Daryl is okay, so it's Matt Rowe and Daryl. Daryl Young says, I'm just saying the right for everyone to own and drive a car is more important. Hold up. Where's the car shit coming from? Somebody help me make sense of that. Or is it y'all talking to each other and I should mind my goddamn business? Hold up. I don't know where it's coming from. Mr. G. hold on, because I like this. Mr. G says, you all act like as if stating water is wet is something so profound. You want to impress anyone? Say something different. Okay. Mr. G challenging us. Mr. G said, that shit y'all kicking don't mean nothing. All right, that's cool. Nia K. Wendolowski crew. All right, hold up. Is this a real name? Wendolowski crew. If you actually fucking go in with an open mind and put your dumbass views aside for 1 second, you would actually understand what he's trying to say. Okay. All right. I need a little more Wendolowski crew because I don't even know what you referencing. Like, but I got you. I got you though. I don't know. Give me a little more on that. RIP Charlie. That's from Autism Behavioral Sciences. Behavioral Services. I read it wrong. Hold up. Yeah. Chase the Gamer guy. They talking about water being wet and it's not being. All right, guys, I'm gone, man. I'm done. It's 12:35 where I'm at. I'm on Chicago time. But let me just throw this at y'all real quick. I appreciate y'all, and I do, and I welcome critique. We grown, as long as we not attacking each other, or we can articulate attacking each other without like cursing directly at the person. You can curse directly at me though. Don't worry about me. You can say all that shit to me, just aim it at me, but I don't want y'all aiming it at each other. Hold up. Blue Kachina. Hold up, Blue Kachina. Hold up, Blue Kachina. Hold up. Blue Kachina try to slide some stuff in. Hold up. Somebody respond to this, if you don't mind. Blue Kachina says, Candace Owens is right. Charlie was having a spiritual awakening. See, think about it like this. Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, and what's the lady's name? Was it McVeigh? Was it the blonde haired cute girl? She on Fox now. She used to be President Donald Trump's first press secretary. What was her name? You know what I'm talking about? All of them was the young new crew. They was like the millennials or some shit coming through. That's what they was. Anthony Seda, or Seda, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, says, taking this world too serious is a surefire way to end up offended, hurt, or in problems. Step out of the self in our words to remember we are all experience life for the first time. I can amen that. I'm ready to end the chat on that because that was solid. Yup, shout out to Anthony Seda, if I'm pronouncing that right. Diego Diego Mendoza says, everything on your chat, plus you are a bunch of fake. Look, check it out. Check it out. I got to put it up. This freedom of speech. We on freedom of speech tonight. So even Diego Mendoza's point is good for me. Everything on your chat, plus you a bunch of fakes. Stop saying his name in syllables. Do you never knew? Okay. Do you never knew the guy or you loved him? Turn the podcast off. That's freedom of speech. And guess what the cost of his freedom of speech is in my little world of being the gatekeeper to allow people in the chat to whatever? Nothing. Because that's just where Diego at. It's cool. All right, so here go Wendolowski. True, he didn't hit me back. Hold up. Wendolowski. All right. Hold up. Wendolowski, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Wendolowski, I apologize. A lot of people look down on him or talk shit about him because it's very difficult for them to accept what he's saying. But peel back the layers, have an open mind, and listen to what he's saying. That's why you can't silence people, man. Yeah. Chase the Gamer said, I can't stress it more than I can. I can't stress it, Chase the Gamer guy. I can't stress it enough. I keep being a broken record. Want to minimize the cost of freedom of speech? Have solidarity with your working class neighbors. Unite people. I was talking to somebody. I don't even think it's set up for all of us to unite. I don't think it's set up that way. I'm not blaming it on the system. I'm saying by design, I just don't think it's set up that way. David Stinson says, wow, spoken like someone who has nothing to contribute to decency of opinion. Negative speech, but the freedom to say it. Sometimes it costs you nothing or pay it no mind. That's all I'm saying. To me, it's a separation. There's a difference between saying it and the cost. There's a difference between saying it, who's right and who's wrong. Because who's right today with one speech could be wrong tomorrow with the exact same speech. That's why when people saying, what's right and what's wrong, well, it's relative to where we at, what the laws are, and how people are. But anyway, guys, I'm getting ready. Let me see what Nia K says. Nia K. Yeah, this part is true. This part is true. Nia K says, or Nia Key, I don't know how to pronounce the N-E-E. Just because someone preaches the gospel and say a Bible verse, doesn't mean their heart is right. That's true. That's true. But here's what else is true. Just because their heart isn't right, but they preach the Bible or say a verse, doesn't mean they're not helping someone. See, even people whose heart not right can help people. I remember when it was really prevalent and heavy in discussions and talks about pastors fornicating and molesting and pedophilia in the church, right? And I can remember years ago when it was the thing you talked about all the time. I was telling guys, so you don't think that pastor that was committing those crimes and those atrocities on the kids in the church, you don't think he helped nobody in that church? They was like, nah, how could he doing that? It's people don't understand. My heart could be in a bad place. I could still help people. They could still receive the word, even though my heart ain't right. Even though I'm doing it for my own, trying to line my own pockets up with grants and monies and checks, trying to fornicate with the distressed wives or the legally separated wives in the communion, in the church, or whatever. Does that negate that I help somebody? Now, we want to talk about that ain't real help and all. That's a different question. But anyway, don't pay me no mind. I'm running on fumes right now. If you think I sound like a fool an hour ago, I really sound like a fool right now. So I'm gonna let y'all go. Stay blessed yeah, hold up. I gotta put this. Stay blessed and be a blessing. Damn, y'all keep saying stuff that make too much sense, man. It just make too much sense. He died telling the truth. Period. Most of us are just comfortable with being lied to. Been lied to so long, it would have been too hard for someone to change, and that's unfortunate. So I'm going with it. Yeah, I'm going with it. My man Wendelowski, I got his name right. Shout out to Wendelowski crew. Hold up. Yes. Here we go. Wendelowski crew says, not many people actually pronounce it right. You are on the spot. I meant to change the name, but when I see his videos, they make a lot of sense, a lot of specifics that will take all day to discuss. Man, it's all good, man. It's all good. Wendelowski crew is good, man. Like I say, R.I.P. to Charlie, and man, I don't even want to talk about the kids. That's crazy. It's crazy. And here's the part that I really, it's a piss off for me. I'm just let y'all know. It's just a piss off for me. You telling me this dude, Tyler Robinson, had enough wherewithal that he was willing to turn himself in based on the pastor and his father, maybe his best friend, who all was involved. He was willing to do that. His heart wasn't so far gone. His mind wasn't so hardened that he was willing to turn himself in, which he did. And was he one conversation away from not doing what he did? Because his heart wasn't so gone that just a couple people in this inner circle basically said, turn yourself in. It's crazy, man. All right, man. Anyway, they say this guy might be officially charged, I guess, Tuesday, but the service for Charlie Kirk I think is Saturday or Sunday, something like that. Hey, check it out. All right, I'm going to leave it alone because y'all keep me on here forever. I'm gone, y'all. Peace out. Thank you. I'm going to say thank you. All of us demonstrated freedom of speech. Me and everybody